Have you ever woken up feeling empty, like you're running, but getting nowhere? Like life has become a loop of noise, stress, and autopilot habits? What if I told you that in just 7 days, your entire emotional state could shift? Not by magic, but by practicing the ancient wisdom of Stoic philosophy? You don't need a major life overhaul, just 7 habits that can realign your soul, calm your mind, and finally put you back in control. In the rush of modern life, have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions? Waking up tired, working without purpose, constantly distracted, emotionally drained. If you've ever felt stuck in a cycle of meaningless habits and invisible burdens, you're not alone. But what if just a few small intentional shifts could pull you out of that spiral? What if 1 week was all it took to move from anxiety to calm, from confusion to clarity? This video is not a motivational cliché. It's a guide, a practical journey through 7 simple yet powerful daily habits, rooted in the ancient, time-tested principles of Stoic philosophy. These practices have guided emperors, warriors, thinkers, and spiritual seekers across centuries, and now they're here for you. You see, Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or living coldly. It's about mastering yourself. It's about becoming so mentally and emotionally steady that even when life shakes, you don't collapse. These 7 habits aren't complicated, but when practiced with intention, they create miraculous transformation. They help you shed the weight of old patterns and step into a version of yourself that's calm, clear, and unshakably grounded. Life becomes more vibrant, more meaningful, more worth living, when we start applying the eternal truths of Stoicism to our everyday routines. And before we dive in, I have a challenge for you. Watch this video until the end. If you're serious about developing yourself, staying calm in chaos, and mastering your emotions, leave a comment saying, "I accept the challenge." Let it be your personal contract with discipline, a silent vow to grow. So let's begin. Let's start with the first habit that has transformed countless lives throughout history. Wake up early. Align yourself with nature's rhythm. Waking up early is not just a successful people cliché. It's a powerful Stoic habit. It's not about being busier. It's about being better. It's about reclaiming your time before the world takes it from you. In those first quiet moments before dawn, when the world is still asleep, you gain a sacred opportunity to think, to breathe, to align your mind before the chaos begins. Marcus Aurelius, one of the wisest Stoics and Emperor of Rome, once wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Each morning is a fresh beginning, a chance to reconnect with your purpose before distractions drown it. In Stoicism, aligning with nature is essential. And the natural rhythm of the world begins with sunrise. The birds awaken, the sky shifts from dark to light. It's not just beautiful, it's grounding. Waking up early reconnects you with this flow, reminding you that you're a part of something bigger than your stress. And there's science behind this too. Studies show that early risers tend to be more focused, optimistic, and productive. That's why leaders like Apple CEO Tim Cook start their day at 4:30 a.m. Not to be extreme, but to own their mindset before the world intrudes. When you start the day in silence, you avoid the trap of reactivity. You lead instead of being led. Even waking up just 30 minutes earlier can create a domino effect of calm, clarity, and control. Use this time not for emails or scrolling, but for you. Meditate, reflect, journal, read, or simply breathe. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about building a life where your mornings feel sacred, not stressful. So ask yourself, what would happen if you gave your mornings back to yourself? How would your life change if you woke up to clarity, not chaos? That's the first step to becoming emotionally unshakable. And in the next habit, we'll explore how to strengthen your mind before others influence it. In the last section, we explored the transformative habit of waking up early, how it connects us to nature, anchors our mindset, and gives us a powerful head start on the day. But the true power of this habit is revealed when we see how history's greatest minds practiced it. For instance, Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential figures of our time, begins her day at 6 a.m. She doesn't just leap into emails or meetings, she starts by meditating and exercising. This isn't coincidence. It's strategy. Waking early gives her uninterrupted time to care for her mind, body, and soul. She uses those precious early hours to prepare for the pressures and decisions that lie ahead before the world starts making demands. And she's not alone. Throughout history, many high performers and spiritually grounded individuals have embraced this habit. They know the early hours offer a calm before the storm, a sacred window to plan, breathe, and gain mental clarity. Even Jesus practiced this principle. In Mark 1:35, the scripture tells us, "Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, he got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed." This wasn't just routine, it was powerful intention. In those quiet hours before the world awoke, Jesus sought connection. He prayed, he reflected, he prepared himself to lead others with compassion, truth, and unwavering strength. And what does that show us? That waking up early isn't just for productivity. It's a chance to deepen your spiritual connection. It's an invitation to align with God, the universe, and your own soul. In those still moments, you're not rushing, you're listening. You're not reacting, you're receiving. Each morning becomes a sacred reset, a seed you plant with hope, water with discipline, and watch blossom throughout the day. So ask yourself this simple but powerful question each morning. What will I do today to become better than I was yesterday? And as you answer it, remember, time is your most precious resource. You don't control how many years you get, but you do control how you begin each day. Make each morning your launch pad. Let it be the soil where you grow a life full of purpose, peace, and joy. Because waking up early doesn't just buy you more time, it gives you freedom. Freedom to think, to pray, to breathe deeply before the noise of the world starts closing in. Start your day with gratitude, with a heart full of determination, because every sunrise is an unopened gift. And when you open it with intention, the day becomes yours to shape. Daily exercise, strengthening body and soul. Now let's shift into another habit, one that may seem physical on the surface but goes far deeper into the Stoic way of life, daily exercise. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to remain upbeat, positive, and mentally sharp, even when life throws curveballs at them? Why they radiate strength without saying a word? Their secret is simple: they move. They train not only their muscles, but their mind. Exercise, according to Stoic philosophy, is not about aesthetics or just staying in shape. It's about discipline. It's about showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It's about building the willpower to push through resistance and emerge stronger on the other side. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught us that personal growth isn't only about studying, it's also about action, and daily physical training is a mirror of your inner strength. Picture this. A man wakes up at dawn and jogs around the park. At first, every step feels like a battle. His legs are tired, his body complains, but he keeps going. Day after day, the struggle becomes easier. His breath becomes steady, his stride becomes powerful, and most importantly, his mind becomes sharper, more focused, and more resilient. That's not just fitness, that's fortitude. Every time you lace up your shoes and face that internal resistance, you're doing more than exercising. You're training your resolve. Have you ever had one of those mornings where everything in you wanted to stay in bed? Where the weight of exhaustion, doubt, or laziness was pulling you down like quicksand? And yet you got up. You moved. You showed yourself that you are stronger than the excuses. That victory, small as it may seem, is monumental. Because each time you conquer the desire to quit, you forge a mindset that doesn't fold under pressure. Stoicism holds discipline and self-control as sacred. They are the silent forces that carry you through life's storms without breaking. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king himself, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Daily exercise is one of the purest ways to practice this principle. You can't control every event in life, but you can control your effort. You can choose to move, to sweat, to breathe, to endure. And over time, you don't just build a healthier body, you build a fortified soul. Following the momentum of early rising and physical training, we now see how daily exercise becomes more than just movement. It's a declaration of control over your life. Exercise cultivates self-control. It trains you not only to build muscle or endurance, but to master discipline, to say no to fleeting distractions and yes to long-term fulfillment. In today's world, where our attention is hijacked by endless scrolling and screen time, the act of moving your body becomes a form of liberation. It's no exaggeration to say we're chained by the invisible threads of technology, notifications, updates, trends. But when you choose to step outside, breathe deeply, feel your heartbeat rise through a morning run or a calming stretch, you reclaim your freedom. Those who exercise consistently don't just gain stronger bodies, they sharpen their minds. They develop a clear, focused outlook and an optimism that's not naive but earned. Why? Because they've proven to themselves, again and again, that they can show up even when they don't feel like it. This is what Stoic strength looks like in real life. Calm under pressure, resilience in discomfort, a mind that refuses to be enslaved by circumstance. And it's not just philosophers or athletes who model this. Many spiritual leaders who inspire others with wisdom don't just speak about faith, they live it. They care for their bodies as temples, honoring their purpose through physical discipline. In doing so, they exemplify what Stoic teaching and spiritual devotion have in common. The body and soul are connected, and strength in one supports the other. Exercise, then, becomes more than a habit. It becomes a sacred practice. Every drop of sweat is a quiet victory. Every repetition is a step closer to your best self. So ask yourself again, what can I do today to be better than I was yesterday? Sometimes the answer isn't complicated. Sometimes it begins with movement, a short walk, a 10-minute stretch, a few deep breaths, and a decision to move with intention. That's all it takes to start shifting your identity toward the version of you who is calm, focused, and powerful. When paired with Stoic wisdom and the teachings of Jesus, this daily movement becomes a channel for purpose. Your body becomes your partner, not your burden. And every time you rise to train, you're not just honoring your health, you're lighting the fire of your own transformation. Let this fire guide you, let it fuel you, let it be the reason you show up again and again until strength becomes second nature and peace becomes your default state. Journaling, the silent mirror of the soul. After building the body, it's time to explore the habit that shapes the inner world. Journaling. Because in the journey of personal mastery, clarity begins on the inside. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what truly creates inner peace in a world constantly spinning with pressure, fear, and noise? For the Stoics, the answer was clear: a daily journal. Not as a routine chore, but as a spiritual practice. To them, writing was not just about recording events. It was an opportunity to sit quietly with your thoughts, reflect on your choices, and illuminate what was once hidden in shadow. Journaling is a sanctuary. It is where the mind meets the heart. It's where your surface emotions give way to deeper understanding. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and Stoic philosopher, used his personal journals to explore inner wisdom, document moments of anger or insight, and remind himself of eternal truths. He once wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." And that's exactly what journaling offers, a space where silence becomes healing, where words on a page become tools to process, refine, and grow. When you begin the habit of journaling, don't overthink it. You're not writing for the world, you're writing to meet yourself. And in that private encounter, a new level of self-awareness is born. Ask simple questions. What made me anxious today? How did I respond to conflict? What can I do better tomorrow? These aren't just questions, they're windows into your soul. Each answer is a map, guiding you back to clarity. And this practice isn't limited to philosophers. From visionary business leaders to groundbreaking artists, many of the most accomplished people journal daily. Oprah Winfrey, for example, has credited journaling as one of the practices that kept her grounded during times of immense challenge and pressure. For her, the journal wasn't just a diary. It was a lifeline to focus, clarity, and purpose. So when you face your own storms, your own setbacks, return to your pages. Look back at what you've overcome. Remind yourself of the strength you didn't even know you had. Use the ink not just to remember, but to rebuild, realign, and reimagine the person you're becoming. Because in that journal lies something sacred, not just your story, but your evolution. In the pages of your journal, you don't just record life, you rediscover your strength. Because journaling isn't merely a place for memories, it's a vault of victories, a mirror of growth, and often a powerful reminder of how far you've already come. Each entry becomes a thread in the story of your evolution. The moments of struggle, the small wins, the insights gained in silence, all preserved not for nostalgia, but for transformation. Think about it. How often do we move through life without acknowledging progress? We fixate on what's lacking, what's wrong, or what still needs to be done. But your journal, it holds the proof that you've already overcome so much. By taking time each day to write, you build something priceless: perspective. A journal becomes more than a tool, it becomes a companion. Legendary investor Warren Buffett has credited journaling as a key factor in sharpening his decision-making and maintaining mental clarity. For him, it's not about poetic writing, it's about reflection, stillness, mental hygiene. When you look back and reread your own words, you realize the battles you once thought would break you actually built you. That realization, it fuels your courage for tomorrow. So yes, daily journaling is a habit, but it's also a healing ritual, a spiritual practice, a conversation between who you are, who you were, and who you're becoming. If you're ready to start your journey toward deeper self-awareness, let journaling become an essential part of your life. Create space for it, not just physically, but mentally. In the rush of modern living, we often feel disconnected from ourselves. A journal is the bridge back. Find a quiet place. Breathe. Let your thoughts spill out freely. Don't judge them. Don't filter them. Just write. Let your soul speak. And remember, this isn't only about the past. Journaling is about shaping the future. Every dream you write down becomes a seed. Every goal recorded becomes a step toward manifestation. So write, not for perfection, but for progress. Not to impress, but to express. Let each word carry you closer to peace, purpose, and fulfillment. Mindful eating, nourish the body, honor the moment. Now that we've explored the power of mental clarity, let's turn our focus to something deeply practical, yet often overlooked: the way we eat. Let me ask you, when was the last time you truly appreciated your meal? Not just consumed it, but savored it. In our busy lives, eating has become another item on the to-do list. Fast bites, rushed meals, disconnected moments. We eat out of habit, not awareness. But the Stoics believed that even meals could be sacred. Mindful eating is not just about picking healthy foods. It's about elevating awareness. It's the art of turning nourishment into a spiritual practice. Through Stoic values like self-control, moderation, and gratitude, we learn that food is more than survival. It's an opportunity to build discipline and cultivate appreciation. Just think of elite athletes. Their performance depends not only on training, but on what they eat. They resist temptations like fast food and sugary snacks, not because they're immune to cravings, but because they prioritize purpose over pleasure. In the same way, mindful eating invites us to pause and reflect. Is this food helping or harming me? Am I eating to fuel my life or escape my emotions? This form of reflection builds self-control, one of Stoicism's core virtues. But it's not just about restriction, it's also about gratitude. Too often we eat without thinking, without appreciating. But when you slow down, when you chew mindfully, when you reflect on the hands that harvested your ingredients, you awaken something deeper. You begin to realize that every meal is a blessing, a gift not everyone has. And this mindset doesn't belong only to ancient philosophy, it's also reflected in spiritual traditions around the world. Take the example of Buddhist monks. In monasteries, eating is sacred. Before every bite, there's gratitude. No phones, no distractions, just silence, presence, and reverence for the food. This is mindful eating in its purest form, and you don't need to become a monk to apply it. You just need to become present. The next time you eat, pause, breathe, taste, appreciate the journey your food has taken to reach you. Let the meal nourish your body and center your mind. Because when you practice mindful eating, you're not just feeding your body, you're honoring life itself. From nourishing the body to nourishing the soul. As we close the lesson on mindful eating, one truth remains clear. Food is more than sustenance. It is an opportunity for reverence, for presence, for connection. Every meal offers more than just nutrition. It holds the power to quiet the mind, open the heart, and deepen your sense of gratitude. When Buddhist monks gather for meals, the experience is sacred. They chew slowly, savoring each bite, not just to aid digestion, but to honor the invisible hands that brought the food into being. Farmers, cooks, servers, nature itself, all are silently thanked with every bite. And this isn't just a cultural tradition, it's a spiritual discipline. Jesus once said, "Man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." This powerful message reminds us that while food feeds the body, our souls need sustenance too. And gratitude, that is soul food. Mindful eating is one of the ways we live in alignment with divine wisdom. It's an act of appreciation, of pausing before indulging, of sharing when possible, and of acknowledging that what we receive is not owed, it's a gift. Imagine this. A volunteer prepares meals at a shelter. The food is simple, but when it's served, it becomes more than just calories. It becomes care, connection, compassion. Those moments shared over a warm plate build community. They soften hardened hearts. They remind us we're not alone. So the next time you sit down to eat, don't rush. Don't scroll. Instead, take a breath, look at your plate, smell the aroma, and ask yourself, am I truly appreciating this moment? This question is more powerful than it seems, because when you begin to truly see what's in front of you, you start to live more fully. Mindful eating builds a bridge between your body, your spirit, and the world around you. It teaches you to find depth in the smallest things. And in a world addicted to speed, this simple act of slowness becomes revolutionary. Limit screen time, reclaiming the depth of real life. Now that we've learned to nourish both body and spirit through mindful eating, it's time to confront a more modern challenge: screen time. Be honest, how many hours do you spend glued to a screen each day? And how often do you finish scrolling only to feel emptier? In today's digital world, screens have become an inseparable part of life. They entertain us, inform us, and connect us, but they also consume us, quietly, relentlessly. Stoic philosophy teaches us one crucial truth: we must control our desires before they control us. This applies not just to food or emotions, but to our attention. Limiting screen time isn't about rejection, it's about reclaiming control. It's about making conscious decisions instead of falling into unconscious habits. Because how can we live fully if our eyes are always somewhere else? The irony is striking. The very tools designed to connect us have become barriers to presence. We miss sunsets because we're capturing them. We ignore voices at the table because we're distracted by pings. We scroll through other people's lives while ours slips by unnoticed. But there is a better way. Let's take a lesson from Steve Jobs. Yes, the very man who changed how we interact with technology also believed in setting limits on its use. Despite being a tech visionary, Jobs knew that life happens beyond the screen. He insisted that family dinners were sacred. No iPhones, no iPads, just conversation. Imagine that. An ordinary dinner table transformed into a place of presence. Stories were shared, books were discussed, ideas were born, and memories were made. These moments nurtured more than relationships. They nurtured the imagination, empathy, and curiosity of his children. Qualities no device could provide. That's the Stoic mindset in action. Technology as a tool, not a tyrant. When you limit screen time, something magical happens. You begin to notice life again. The rustle of leaves, the tone in someone's voice, the clarity of your own thoughts. You remember what it feels like to be present, to think deeply, to rest fully, to feel the moment without distraction. And your creativity? It returns. Your focus sharpens. Your anxiety lessens, because your mind is no longer split between 5 tabs and 10 notifications. So here's the challenge. Choose windows in your day to unplug. Maybe it's the first hour of your morning, or the last hour before bed. Maybe it's meals, walks, conversations with loved ones. Create sacred spaces in your life where screens are simply not invited. And when the urge to scroll arises, ask yourself, what am I avoiding right now? Because often behind the screen lies a fear of stillness. But stillness is where your power is. Technology's limits, and your power to choose stillness. As we concluded earlier, even Steve Jobs, the genius behind the digital revolution, understood something critical. Technology may inform the mind, but it cannot form the soul. Real-life experiences, face-to-face conversations, the silence between thoughts. These cannot be simulated, they must be lived. Technology can guide us, but it cannot ground us. It may expand access to knowledge, but it can never teach values, integrity, or the quiet strength of presence. That must be cultivated, away from the screen. Studies from the American Academy of Pediatrics support this truth. Children exposed to excessive screen time struggle more with social development, attention span, and emotional regulation. Why? Because devices rob them of the pauses and people that shape who they become. And we adults are no different. How often do we reach for our phones, not because we need them, but because we're trying to escape a feeling? Loneliness, boredom, stress. But avoiding discomfort only delays growth. Limiting screen time is not just about reducing distraction, it's about creating space for depth, for focus, for human connection. So the next time your hand instinctively reaches for your device, pause and ask, what is it I'm really looking for right now? Instead, try something intentional. Pick up a book that challenges you. Step outside and feel the sun on your face. Sit in stillness and let your thoughts settle. Meditate. Breathe. Reflect. These seemingly small actions realign you with your soul, and they add up. In a world where attention is currency, the ability to choose silence is power. Sleep quality, the overlooked superpower. Once you've reclaimed your time from the screen, there's another silent force shaping your life every night: sleep. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly prioritized rest, not just in quantity, but in quality? Modern society wears exhaustion like a badge of honor. We hustle late into the night, chase deadlines, and sacrifice sleep for productivity. But what if that sacrifice is costing us more than we realize? The Stoics understood something we've forgotten. Sleep is sacred. It's not a luxury, it's a foundation for strength. Marcus Aurelius, even as a Roman emperor, recognized the importance of recovery. He didn't just manage armies and empires, he mastered the discipline of rest. Why? Because sleep is when your body heals. It's when the mind organizes thoughts. It's when the soul finds calm. When you sleep well, you think clearer, feel more balanced, and respond to life with intention, not irritation. On the other hand, poor sleep weakens focus, dulls creativity, and makes us emotionally reactive. We become more impatient, more anxious, and less in control. That's why Stoic philosophy links rest with self-control. It takes discipline to turn off the TV at midnight, to put your phone down instead of scrolling, to build a sleep routine that serves your soul instead of feeding distractions. Look at high performers, people like LeBron James or Roger Federer. They treat sleep like training. Every hour is scheduled, protected, and optimized. Because they understand that sleep is not the end of productivity, it's the beginning. Want to perform at your highest level? Want to speak clearly, love deeply, lead effectively? Start by protecting your sleep. This is not just about energy, it's about identity. Because the version of you that wakes up after a deep restorative sleep is more focused, more present, and more powerful than the tired, foggy version trying to survive on caffeine and willpower. Sleep as a spiritual practice. Here's a deeper thought. What if sleep was also a spiritual practice? When we surrender the day, close our eyes and release control, we're practicing trust. Trust in divine order. Trust in our limits. Trust that while we rest, the world keeps spinning. And that's okay. Some of the greatest faith leaders have spoken about the beauty of rest, not as weakness, but as wisdom. Because true faith means knowing when to act and when to be still. So let your sleep become more than recovery. Let it be renewal. Turn off screens an hour before bed. Dim the lights. Play calming music or open scripture. Let your last thought be one of gratitude, not anxiety. When you treat your bed like a sanctuary, not a workspace or entertainment center, you begin to restore your soul. And when you wake, you'll rise with clarity, with courage, with control. Sleep, a sacred space for regeneration. As we just uncovered, those who create space for stillness and embrace the sacred act of rest often enjoy better sleep, and with it, a better life. Why does that matter so deeply? Because sleep isn't just a nightly pause, it's a reset button. It's where healing begins, not just in the body, but in the mind and soul. It clears away the emotional clutter of the day and prepares us for a more focused, peaceful tomorrow. Without quality sleep, we lose our sharpness, our patience, and our strength to face challenges with calm. But when we honor this simple rhythm of rest, we wake with more than just energy. We rise with intention. So ask yourself, are you truly allowing your soul to rest when the world grows quiet? When you improve your sleep, you don't just gain health, You gain clarity, resilience, and a renewed connection to your purpose. It becomes the fuel for your growth and the foundation for self-improvement. Make sleep an indispensable part of your Stoic journey, not a luxury, but a pillar of your pursuit of peace and inner mastery. Practice gratitude, the key to unshakable joy. Now that we've tended to the mind and body, let's move to the heart. Have you ever wondered how some people seem to radiate peace, even when life throws chaos their way? How they smile, remain hopeful, and continue walking with purpose, despite pain, loss, or hardship. Their secret isn't found in fortune or circumstance, it's found in gratitude. To the Stoics, gratitude was not just an occasional feeling, it was a daily practice, a way of life, a powerful force that could transform even the darkest moments into opportunities for wisdom and strength. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." And what better way to do that than by learning to appreciate what already is, instead of constantly chasing what isn't? Gratitude shifts the focus from lack to abundance, from restlessness to contentment, from comparison to inner peace. In a world addicted to more, faster, better, gratitude is a rebellion, a way to take your power back to inner peace. Gratitude in action, stories that inspire. Consider the example of a single mother working tirelessly to raise her children. The bills stack up, the nights are long, and the support is often limited. But instead of drowning in stress, she chooses to anchor herself in gratitude. She thanks God for her children's laughter, for their health, for the simple joy of holding them close at night. She counts what she has, not what she's lost. And that shift in focus gives her strength to keep going. Gratitude is more than a mood, it is spiritual strength in action. Even in the teachings of Jesus, gratitude stands as a divine principle. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Notice it doesn't say give thanks when life is perfect. It says in all things, even in heartbreak, even in delay, even in silence. Because those very moments often become the soil where the greatest growth takes root. How to make gratitude a daily habit. So how can you begin? Start small. Start now. One of the simplest and most powerful tools is a gratitude journal. Each night, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be grand or dramatic. A warm cup of tea, a kind message, a moment of quiet. The goal is not perfection, it's presence. You can also express your gratitude out loud. Say thank you more often. Send a message to someone who encouraged you. Offer a small act of kindness to a stranger. Because gratitude isn't just felt, it's shared. And each time you share it, the impact multiplies. It becomes a ripple effect, touching not just your life, but everyone around you. Gratitude is the bridge between where you are and the joy that's already within your reach. Final reflection. Why gratitude changes everything. When you embrace gratitude, you begin to see life differently. A problem becomes a lesson. A delay becomes protection. A quiet season becomes preparation. Gratitude softens the heart but sharpens the mind. It turns simple things into sacred things. And it's not reserved for the lucky. It's available to all who choose to see. So the next time life feels overwhelming, try this. Pause. Breathe. Give thanks for just one thing in front of you. Then build from there. Gratitude won't remove your problems, but it will reshape your perspective. And with that shift, you'll find peace you didn't know was possible. Closing thoughts. You've now explored 7 timeless habits drawn from the wisdom of the Stoics and the teachings of Christ. Each one a seed that, when planted daily, grows into a life of clarity, purpose, and unshakable joy. Are you ready to commit? Start with just one, then keep showing up. Your transformation isn't just possible, it's already beginning. Living a fulfilled life begins with gratitude. Gratitude is more than a feeling. It's a way of seeing. It colors your perception and turns everyday moments into miracles. When you wake up with gratitude, you no longer chase happiness, you awaken to it. You stop searching for purpose and start living it. Gratitude helps you embrace the full spectrum of life, not just the joy and the victories, but also the detours, the losses, the waiting seasons. Because you realize every moment, every challenge, and every blessing is part of your divine design. So take a moment and ask yourself, Are you ready to begin each day with a grateful heart? Because when you do, something powerful happens. Your perspective softens, your patience strengthens, your joy multiplies. And the beauty of it all? Gratitude isn't silent, it echoes, it inspires. It blesses not only your own journey, but the lives of those who walk beside you. When you live in gratitude, you become a light, a guide, a reminder to the world that peace is possible, and it's found not in having more, but in seeing more clearly what you already have. Conclusion. Transform your life, one habit at a time. As we conclude this journey, look back for a moment. You've walked through 7 powerful habits, each one small in appearance, but profound in impact. From waking up early, to exercising, to journaling, eating mindfully, limiting screen time, sleeping with intention, and practicing daily gratitude, each habit is a spiritual anchor, not just a routine. They are invitations. Invitations to pause, reflect, and step into a new version of yourself, one that is balanced, focused, and fully alive. This isn't just about self-improvement, it's about soul restoration. It's about learning to live with depth in a world obsessed with noise. It's about walking the Stoic path, not as a cold, emotionless being, but as someone who is deeply centered, profoundly aware, and unshakably grounded. The Stoics taught us that true happiness isn't something you chase, it's something you uncover. It's already within you, waiting to be revealed through mindful living and intentional choices. And that's what this journey has been all about. A life that inspires others. The impact of living this way doesn't end with you. When you choose stillness in chaos, when you choose discipline in distraction, when you choose peace over panic, you become an example, a living testament to what's possible. And that kind of life doesn't just bring you joy, it awakens others. So ask yourself, what kind of example do I want to be? What legacy am I building, not with grand gestures, but with daily habits? When you begin each morning with gratitude, when you move your body with purpose, when you nourish your soul through silence and stillness, you aren't just changing your day, you're transforming your future. You become a mirror of strength, serenity, and quiet power. Your call to action, begin today. You only have one life, but that life holds limitless potential, and it starts, not someday, but today. So are you ready? Ready to rise earlier with purpose, to move with discipline, to eat with awareness, to limit distractions, to sleep with peace, and to live each moment with gratitude? Then let this be your moment. Let this be the spark that ignites your journey toward true fulfillment, stoic strength, and a life that is rich not in possessions, but in presence. Final words. If this video spoke to your heart, if these 7 habits stirred something within you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button to support this message. Drop a comment with your favorite habit or your personal commitment. Share this video with someone who needs a fresh start or deeper peace. And don't forget to subscribe to the Stoic Art of Living, where we walk this path together, one habit, one breakthrough, one moment at a time. This isn't the end, it's the beginning. Your best self is already within reach. You just have to show up, every day, with intention, with gratitude, and with the quiet strength of a Stoic heart.